Hi folks, and welcome to Chris Reviews. So today I'm looking at the brand new Captain Willard Homage from Rdunae. This is the R2X. And please remember, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon as well. It is very much appreciated. So without any further ado, let's get into the review. So as you will have seen the paid promotion icon flashing across the screen at the beginning of the video, Rdunae very kindly sent me this watch to review for free. It came from the Rdunae Official Store on AliExpress. They had no other input into my review other than sending me the watch out, but it's a watch that I was looking to get in at some point regardless. So let's cover the dimensions for you. So we have a 44.2mm wide case, 13mm thickness, 19mm lugs, I'll cover that a little bit later, 47.7 lug to lug measurement, and on the supplied rubber strap this one weighs in at 99 grams. Price wise, this one will cost £150 British, that equates to around 197 US dollars. And timekeeping, this one houses the ever reliable NH35 and mine is keeping plus 11 seconds per day. Now, as mentioned, this was sent to me from the Rdunae Official Store on AliExpress. Check them out, they have a great selection of different models. I'll leave a link to the store and to the R2X down below. So the watch comes presented in Rdunae's hard shell case. You also get the instruction booklet, a signed warranty card, and it's nice to see a spring bar tool with an extra set of spring bars as well. It's a nice package overall from Rdunae. I do like that hard shell case. So there have been a number of different homages to the iconic Seiko 6105 Willard over the past few years, and while a couple of brands have come pretty close to the most accurate homage, none have fully succeeded in my opinion. That was of course until this R2X was released from Rdunae. They have got the case absolutely spot on in my opinion. The finishing is first class, the brushed upper surface and those polished sides. The case shape is also very accurate with that asymmetrical crown guard executed perfectly, and of course those 19mm lugs. And it may seem like an odd lug size choice, but this is exactly the same as the 6105, and it adds, I think, the correct case to strap proportions that others do not. Now the crown is also the most accurately homaged, I think. The knurling is spot on, they have the pattern perfect, and the way that it sits flush with those crown guards is also nicely observed. This is not always the case with other brands. I do find it a little bit triggering when the crown overhangs the case in some of the homages that I've seen, but this one is absolutely spot on. It also features the lock wording on the crown exactly as the original 6105 does. Obviously the arrow, while correct for a 6105, does point in the wrong direction. This is a modern screw down crown, so it screws in clockwise, but it does show some excellent attention to detail. We have a lovely slim profile caseback with the Rdunae turtle on there, and I am loving the fact that this has an aluminium bezel insert instead of ceramic. It looks so much more complete, I think. The bezel is coin edge and it's 120 click. It turns like butter. It is very smooth and precise. And they also have an impressive flat large lume pip as well, something that is so often overlooked. The 19mm rubber strap is a vintage chocolate bar style strap, again perfectly in keeping with the original 6105. I like this strap, it looks great, it doesn't attract any lint or dust. Now it did take me a couple of days to shape it to my wrist. It is perhaps a little stiff when you first get it, but it is comfortable and it certainly does look the part. And covering the dial is a very nice piece of domed sapphire crystal. It does feature some blue AR coating, but it's not overpowering. It actually looks a bit worse. It shows through in some of the photos there, but in everyday operation it is absolutely fine. It has that classic chamfered beveled edge to the crystal, and it sits really nicely against that bezel insert. Now, as you can see on my 7.5-inch wrist, it wears exceptionally well. This is definitely a larger watch at 44mm, but it wears beautifully thanks to that curved case design and those polished beveled case sides. That slim case back also means that it wears pretty slim and snug in profile for a large diver as well. I really do love how this R2X wears. It wears surprisingly well for a larger watch. Now we have the typical 6105 style dial with those square hour markers around the dial and the larger rectangles at the 6 and the 9 with the double marker there at the 12. We've got a printed minute track along the outer edge and a nice silver framed date window at the 3. Now the Rdunae logo at the 12, which I have to say I really like, and the text at the 6. Now water resistance on this is 150 metres, another nod to the original model, and it's nice to see that they've made that 150 metre text red to match that iconic red dot on the seconds hand. The dial is completed with that classic 6105 straight handset finished in a high polish. So it's a pretty standard 6105 style dial then, Chris? Well, not all Homages are equal, as I'm sure you'll agree. This dial is excellent quality here. Those silver surrounds on the hour markers are immaculate, and the hands are also very nicely finished. It is a well executed dial on this. And let's have a look at that Lume, another area where other brands don't quite seem to get it right for me. So Rdunae call this simply Japanese Super Lume, so I don't actually know what specific lume type they use, but it is absolutely great in person. It glows green and it has been very nicely applied. It's nice and even and it lasts for a good while. I especially like how they have only lumed just the dial, the hands and that large lume pip on the bezel. It is exactly how the original was done. So that about brings me on to the verdict for this R2X, and I have to say it hasn't disappointed. The original 6105-8110 is a totally iconic watch, and whether you're a fan of Apocalypse Now or just dive watches in general, it's a watch that a lot of people want to own, myself included. But original 6105s are very expensive nowadays, and they're certainly not easy to find in decent condition. So what about all the recent Seiko re-releases then, I hear everybody say? Well, why would you go for a Homage at all? Well yes, Seiko did release the SLA 033, a true updated reissue of the original 6105, but the 033 has the higher end AL35 movement, and of course it was a limited edition, and incidentally it carried a price tag of more than £3,000. Then of course there was the SPB 151, which was a modern interpretation of the 6105 and which incidentally I do own. And as you can see, as nice as the 151 is, it is a completely different watch to the original. Yes, that asymmetrical case and crown guard are there, but the case is smaller, the crown is just standard with no knurling, and the lug size has been put up slightly to 20mm instead of 19. To my eyes, it looks more turtle-esque than Willard, but that is just my opinion. And that's not to say I don't like it, I do. But I think it is pretty expensive as well, retailing for around £1,200. And as you can see, the R2X looks to me like a more pure Willard by comparison. Now this R2X is the second model that I have had from Rdunae. I purchased their slim Willard Homage a while ago, and it was easily, back then, hands down the best one I had seen. It was high quality and it stayed very true to the original watch. I was actually hoping back then when they released that model that they would work on and release a true Willard Homage with the same attention to detail, and of course here it is in the shape of this R2X. And I have to say the R2X is quite simply the best 6105 Willard Homage that I have seen yet. Rdunae have produced an exceptional homage with this piece. The attention to detail together with the very high build quality, the overall fit and finish, the appearance, they all combine to make this R2X, in my opinion, the #1 choice for a Willard Homage. And you have to say folks, at £150 or just under $200, this represents amazing value for money. If you're looking for a Captain Willard Homage, then this is most definitely the one to get. And don't forget, I'll leave a link to the Rdunae store down below. You can check it out. And as always folks, thank you so much for making it to the end of another review. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I'm always interested to know what you guys think. Leave me a comment in the comments section down below. And that just leaves me to say thank you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next review.